All right, what's good? Hello, what's good, y'all? Fams, what's good? Hello, everyone. I'm Brighton Fams here. What's good? Today is a special occasion, I should say. I'm sorry that I didn't do any streams for yesterday. I'm about to explain that on as we're doing this. But how y'all doing? I'm Brighton Fams. We're back with another episode of the Lightning Round podcast, the one day out of the week where we just sitting down and we talk what's on our mind. We're on 78 episodes and counting for this, for this occasion. You know what I mean? Eagles, how you doing? Everyone coming on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. We got a bit to talk about today. Of course, we got the big one to talk about today. We got the Super Bowl that is 24 hours away. Well, almost 24 hours because it's 2:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But, we got that to talk about. We got some gaming stuff to talk about. One particular gaming situation got handled, but still I'm going to talk about it anyway because, I swear I feel like people haven't seen the true chaos of that situation. We're going to be talking about a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh!, a little bit of Monster Hunter, and then, of course, we're going to get on with the big game that we have to discuss. So, of course, we got we got all these topics in hand. You already know how it's going to be. Okay? You already know how it's going to be. We got to talk gaming first. We have to get that out the way before we go ahead and provide our thoughts when it goes to the football side of things. And that's going to be the plan as always. That's always been the standard procedure. So let's get to it, shall we? So first things first. Let's talk about PlayStation, okay? Let me go ahead and pull it up here for a little bit. You can see what I'm seeing. So it said from right here initially, it said that PlayStation was down. Okay, it was currently down. It's been down throughout what? A whole day? PlayStation was down from throughout most of yesterday, if not all of yesterday, and up until early this afternoon it was down. Now, I can't say for sure whether or not it got hacked. I can't say for sure what the fuck happened. Now, all I know for sure right now is PlayStation's now back up. Apparently, because of Wario, who came up with the comment, he said that it's back up. As for what we can see. So, I guess it's not too big of an issue anymore, but this is what I do know. The way how people acted heading into this, only thing this told me was, yo, y'all wouldn't have survived 2011. Do y'all know the story with what happened with PlayStation in 2011? Or do I have to go ahead and give y'all a little bit of that story? Because if you know, you know. Yeah. Because if you know what happened in 2011, I'll go ahead and give a little context for people in here that's going to be looking at this podcast episode on YouTube at some point. How you doing, YouTube? Let me move that out the way. PlayStation in 2011 got hacked bad by a team that was called the Lizard Squad at the time. Okay? They got hacked so bad that PlayStation was down for a month. A month. You had people freaking out about this for a day. Imagine having to live in that era for a month where you had to deal with no online. All you had was to play your games offline. That's all you had on you. Whatever games you had downloaded on your PS3 at the time, or whatever games you had as a physical copy, That's all you had to play. If you were playing Killzone, all you could play with were bots. If you had Call of Duty Black Ops 1 or 2, all you had to play with were bots. Especially if the PlayStation 3 was your only console. So to see how people acted towards this situation tells me this. Y'all motherfuckers wouldn't have survived 2011 the way how y'all acted. Over a day of being down. But I will say one true thing, okay? I'm going to say one true thing. As much as people want to shit on the Xbox and Microsoft, this is one thing you will never hear from them. And their comparison was pretty much dead on. When it goes to Microsoft and their online service, bro, it's literally Fort Knox when it goes to their online service. At most, you will hear about them doing maintenance. The longest they'll be down for is like maybe an hour to like 30 minutes. Like, yeah, like around that 30 minutes to an hour, be like, oh, okay, they're down in service. Okay, that's fine. Let me go and play a quick offline game real quick, and then the next thing I know, the services is already back up. Whatever the hell Microsoft got going on over there, Sony needs to freaking adopt that, because that don't make no sense where you have people freaking out this much over being down for a day. Now, yes, I know Sony has gotten better with their online service ever since that situation happened back in 2011, but from what we can see, that ain't making it look any better when you got people bitching like this off of being gone for a whole day. Now, I didn't even so much as once turn on my PS5. Why do you think that is, ladies and gentlemen? Why do you think that is? I haven't turned on my PS5 once. The last time I turned it on was literally since last Friday. Like, this is the benefit, in my case, this is the benefit of being a variety gamer, for God's sakes. I never have to worry about a situation like this. Ever. I don't let this get to me. The amount of... God damn it. The amount of games I have at my disposal are so much to where if you was to tell me that you can't play this game for a month, I would have been like, all right, fine, let me go ahead and adjust real quick and then just play this instead. Like, it almost feels like the way how everyone acts, like, look, the PS5 is the only console you ever own. That PlayStation is all you ever own. Well, for some people, that is the case, because when you still sitting up there and doing console wars like it's freaking 2003, I guess the PlayStation 5 would be your only console. Instead of going out, getting some other shit, getting some other games, getting a PC, getting a Switch, I guess the PlayStation 5 would be your only console, and you would feel like hell just rose on you, all because your online service was down for a day, or let alone a month. I don't know about y'all, but look, I ain't never see people bitch about it this much, freak out about it this much, and God knows how long. Okay? And like, look, the way that I see it is this. Y'all gotta get your shit together. Not just Sony, but everybody in the community gotta get their shit together, dog. Like, anytime a service goes down, y'all should have been able to bounce back and be like, okay, this is down, let me go ahead and work on something else. Let me go ahead and do something else with my life. It was the equivalent of the TikTok ban, even though the ban only lasted about a couple hours, Eagles. Just like this. The ban only lasted a couple hours. All they did was give y'all so much as a scare. Which, funny enough, guess what? Had TikTok or had PlayStation been down for more than about a couple hours, had they been down for like a day or a week, or had they been outright banned, like, I'm being honest, PlayStation could ban me today and I wouldn't so much as skip a beat. Because I've already been, I should say, retrained, if that makes sense. I've already been retrained to basically starting to love playing offline games. I'm dead serious. I don't play many online games anymore. And I guess that's thanks to the state of the world, where every game for me is too similar to one another. Or every game for me just, yeah, basically just that. They're too similar to one another. They don't have any originality anymore. And the few games that do have the originality, guess what? I could play them offline. I mean, hell, look at the schedule here that I was having up. Look at this shit. What you see here is 2 offline games and 1 game online, which we're gonna get to. And then the other 2 is, of course, our talk show that we're doing right now, and anime and movie night. That's all I've been doing. That's all I've been doing. Look, I'm just gonna point it like this. The only game so far that I would care about for online, if, say, God forbid, online went down, right? The only thing that's gonna hurt me, and even then I'm gonna keep it pushing, the only thing that's gonna hurt me if online services went down today for gaming is I can't play co-op games. That's really just about it. Like, or like party games, like what Omega said with Party Animals, because that's an online only game, sadly, right? If that goes down, we're all fucked in that case. But it's not like at the end of the day we wouldn't be able to move on and play some other games and have some fun. So yeah, I'll just keep it like this. If your only console if you only have one console right now, you better have some good offline games to play, or in the case of PlayStation, you better get another console. You better get a Nintendo Switch. Either that, or you better get yourself a gaming PC. I say the Switch is more affordable. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, bro, y'all gotta get better. Hold on, give me a minute. Alright, sorry about that. I had to type something down. They really need to make more good multi-single player games. The thing is, Omega, this is Sony we're talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is Sony we're talking about. Like, Sony was the fucking kings. Sony was the fucking kings of single player games, bro. It almost felt like no one could touch them when it went to single player games. Now it's like they've fallen off so much of a rock when it goes to their single player games that they have forgotten what games they had at one point in their lifespan. Like, They forget why we loved the PlayStation 2. They forget why we loved the PS3. For some people, in my case, wasn't as much as the 360, but y'all forget how much we loved these PlayStation single player games that they had. And it's like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Right. To be fair, it shouldn't have to take Capcom digging them. It shouldn't have to take any book. They know what they have. Talking about PlayStation, they know what they have for IPs. They just don't want to bring them back because they too fucking lazy and all they want to think about is the next best cash grab. Now, thank God for Astrobot to give them that fresh reminder. Thank God for Astrobot winning Game of the Year. Thank God for Astrobot putting in that work to give Sony that fresh reminder. This is what the fuck y'all have. You better remind yourself to stick with it, and you better bring back the shit you had in the past. Actually listen to your people. They don't want to listen. He said Neil Druckerman, since he's the sole reason. How long has he been there? Like, has he been there since the PS4 days? Has he been there since the PS3 days? Because whoever the fuck was in charge from the PS3, from the PS2 and PS3 to move over to the PS4 era, it's amazing to me how much they dipped in quality from the PS3. Like, they literally had a slow decline. It went from PS2, top of the line shit, to PS3, not as top of the line, but guess what? You could have backwards compatibility and play as much of your PS2 and PS1 games as you wanted. PS4, clearly a step back from the PS3 in terms of the amount of games you can play, but it was still fun. It was still good. And now we got this with the PS5. Like, I shit you not, this is still the case. PlayStation is still coasting ever since that 2013 E3 fuck up from Xbox. They're still coasting on that shit years later. You know they are. Because it makes me wonder, I swear to you, Xbox was pulling some Kanye shit before what just happened to Kanye recently, where they just basically doomed themselves ever since that E3 debacle back then from 2013. And it makes me wonder, it makes me ask to this day, what would have happened if Xbox did not fuck up that E3 from 2013? Like, how much of a shift would we have gotten in gaming if Xbox did not mess up like they did back in 2013? Because I kid you not, ever since that fuck up, it's been PS4, it's been Sony on fucking cruise control. That's it. Like, the amount of damage that situation did is amazing. Like, it's as bad as they put it like this. It's as bad as when E3 got canceled for good because of the COVID. Like, yeah, when COVID happened, it's like that, but for Xbox. And it feels like they never recovered from that. You said, oh, they would be, oh, you said now they kinda got together. Kinda is the key word in that statement, Omega. Kinda. Like, they're trying to pick up the pieces, but it feels like, look, they haven't recovered. and they're just doing the best they can to skate on by in the gaming world, which we have to give them that, because look, they now see it like this. Look, if our console isn't gonna work out, we might as well just do the next best thing, and that's we might as well just start focusing on our PC community, because we know damn well they weren't caring about it back then. They didn't give a damn about the PC community back then. But they're caring about it now, all because their consoles just is not there no more. They ain't shit no more. They pretty much don't have a choice. That mess up was the equivalent of the Sith coming back in the prequel trilogy, and then the Xbox is the Jedi and the PlayStation is the Sith. That's literally the best way to put it. That was essentially that, Eagles. You know what? You know what? That's probably the best comparison yet, because you still have it right now in Star Wars, where the rebels are just, even if they win the war, they're still trying to recover from the pieces that the Empire put out on them. They're still trying to recover the damage. And when they even have so much of a shot to recover, here come the Empire all over again. And they just have to scrape and claw and get by after each war that they beat the Empire in. Only for them to come back and be like, look, we're ready to take over all over again. That's how this shit feel. Anyway, I'll end it like this, because I know I've been at this for a while, but look, at the end of the day, it's like I said, PlayStation, y'all gotta do better, because look, if Xbox even has a semblance of competition in their body again, which it doesn't feel like they have, if they have even so much as a semblance of their of competition, some of those games that are coming out on the PlayStation, that are going to come out, they'll still put them out there, but everything else they wouldn't give a, they'd be like, nah, you're not getting this for PlayStation. That's how they should act. Like right now, that's why, for me personally, that's why this situation with Halo going over to PlayStation and possibly the Switch is so unprecedented, because it's like, look, this was your baby. When you started out in the gaming world, that was the game. And now you're putting that game out for the whole world to finally fucking play. If they didn't have a PC, which was understandable for it to come out on PC, because obviously, Windows computers, Windows is Microsoft, or Linux, which is not Microsoft, but still it's PC at the end of the day, or Mac. But my point is like, look, that's what makes that shit so unprecedented for me, is the fact that you have your bona fide true first party game coming out for these consoles. And for how I see it now, everything else from this point forward, when it goes to Xbox, if they even had a semblance of competition in their body, they'll be like, you're not getting this on PlayStation. You're not getting this on the Switch. You're going to play this strictly here because we want our money. But hey, this is Microsoft we're talking about. Right now, they're looking at a bigger picture, and I will give them credit for that. They're not looking at the competition for the gaming console no more that people think they are. Their competition is, we want to just find a way to make as much fucking money as possible, so we might as well just cater to everybody instead of just keep everyone closed off. Winter, how are you doing? That is basically their plan. So Winter, I'll catch you up. I'll get you caught up. So basically, I was talking about PlayStation and how everything was getting caught, how it went down, but now everything is coming back up with PlayStation. But it's basically, like I said, with PlayStation is where they have been coasting ever since that 2013 E3 debacle, where it's like, look, they really just been coasting by with just all these multiplayer games. that everyone was freaking out about. No, Winter. It's back up. It just came back up. But my point is, because of this situation, this is why we blame Sony for this, because you don't have many single player games anymore because they intentionally chose to shut them off. Like, we don't have more Ratchet and Clank like we should. Yes, we have Rift Apart, but we should have more than Rift Apart. Like, we should have Jack and Daxter. We should have Sly Cooper here. I understand not having Crash. We know what's going on with Crash. We understand what's going on with Spyro. I don't even think they were exclusives at the time. But my point is, PlayStation has to stop acting like they don't have any single player games anymore, where only thing they can coast off of is just multiplayer games. And then when shit like this happens, then what? You're gonna have everybody freaking out over a day with not having online, when, as far as I'm concerned, like I said earlier, God forbid they knew what it was like in 2011 with the PS3. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine the PS5 being down for a month? Well, how these people act, there would have been freaking, like, violence over here. There would have been some violence over here if the PS5 was down for a month. No, they're gonna be acting worse than Randy. Like, they're gonna want to kill motherfuckers over the fact that the PlayStation's not online for a month. Because I can't play I can't play Call of Duty for a month. I can't play Fortnite for a month. I can't play blah 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 for a month. And while me and you, Winter, probably Eagles as well, me and you were sitting back here thinking like, PlayStation's down? Oh, damn. Anyway. Oh no. Anyway. Like, literally with Eagles and with my cousin sitting up there telling me that PlayStation going down. I'm like, okay. Like, bro, y'all acting like I don't have a Switch. Y'all acting like I don't have a PC. And here's the deal, even if I turned on and played on my PS5, and this is why I said I'm tempted to do this, by the way. This is why I'm not getting Monster Hunter Wilds. Thank you for confirming this, PlayStation. This is why I'm not getting Monster Hunter Wilds for the PlayStation. But the only thing that this confirms to me is this. The only thing I'm using this PS5 for is just for offline gaming. And if that's the case, why would I need to use you? Why would I care to use you when I have 2-3 other consoles at my disposal? Yeah, it's like what Eagle say he didn't really care. I mean, Eagle say he had his phone and his Alexa and his other internet was fine. Right, for me at the end of the day, it's like this. As long as I have internet access and I could just play the games I want to play, even if I didn't have my internet access, as long as I have the games that I want to play at the end of the day, what's the problem? It's not stopping me from booting up, anything in my Steam library. It's actually not stopping me from playing the games I already have downloaded on my PS5. It's not stopping me. Now I understand PlayStation just came back online, but if I had gotten on when it was offline, guess what? The games I had already downloaded, they're offline. I could have played Judgment offline, which I'm already am. I could play Ghost of Tsushima. Like, what's the problem? Thing is, I would love to have more single player games, but I'll just say this one more time. If you missed it, you can look back on the past broadcast, either from here or on YouTube when this is uploaded. in about a day or so later. Literally, the only biggest issue I have. Yeah, Winter, which goes to my point. People need to stop acting. People need to cut that console war shit out, because this is exactly the price you could pay just for trying to, praise a fucking machine, a console, when the company doesn't give a fuck about you. What about the single player games that for some reason need online to work? First off, that's fucking stupid. And that should have never been a concept. I said that then, I'll say it now. It should have never been a concept. What the fuck was the point of single player games needing online when more often than not you're playing offline? It's dumb. So much as a use for a single player online game. Isn't Switch guilty of that? Yes. The Switch are guilty of that too. To a certain extent, yes, they're just as much guilty. In fact, any console that does this is guilty in my eyes for doing this. Because the way that I see it is the only good use for having a single player game online is for speedrunners or for DLC. Which is dumb for DLC and for speedrunners, especially nowadays, because it's not like people cannot go on YouTube, live stream their speedrun, post it for all to see, and then they'll just sit up there and chart down who's first, who's second, third, fourth, etc., etc. And the same can be said for DLCs. When yo ass can sit up there, post that shit on the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Store, download it from there, and just call it a day, and you wouldn't have to worry about, oh, you need online for this DLC to work, which was fucking stupid. I mean, sorry. It is what it is. I don't know, maybe it's because for me, I'm still stuck on that era where, like, oh, I grew up with the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, and I didn't have a memory card, so I just played the game and had fun with what the fuck I had. And the only semblance of a memory card I had was when I got an Xbox, and I had to play Halo 1 throughout most of that lifetime. And what was a shame was, here's another fun childhood fact with me, I couldn't even beat Halo 1 because anytime I got past 343 Guilty Spark, my game would stop loading. I couldn't even get to the 2 Betrayals mission. My game would stop loading. Damn shame, ain't it? And then after that, I would have to run back and play the Halo campaign all over again to get stuck on that same loop. So basically, this is why I was so hard trained to be used to single player games, because of what I had to deal with in my childhood, where all I had was Gran Turismo, Crash Bandicoot with no memory card, by the way. So if I turned the game off, that was it. I had to reset all over again. And then I move over to PlayStation 2, almost the same thing. All I did was play NFL 2K3, play more of my PS1 games, which also, again, no memory card. Because guess what? If you got memory card saves from the PS2, it wasn't backwards compatible, and it didn't translate to the PS1. So once again, same exact thing. And then when I got an Xbox, because I had the yellow light of death on my PS2, yes, it existed, ladies and gentlemen, back then. Because I had the yellow light of death on my PS2, I get myself an Xbox. I play once again back to one football game, Madden 2006. And then I had one shooter game, Halo. And that was all I had to deal with. No online, by the way. I had to deal with no online throughout half my childhood. So you think for a second that online being down for a full day is going to bother someone that had no online throughout half their childhood, plus got all of these other games to play with? You are fucking mistaken, man. And I feel bad for anyone else that didn't have to go through what I had to go through, because that shit would have trained you with how to just get used to being happy with what you had. Oh my god, bro. Gaming nowadays couldn't have survived early 90s and 2000s. This is all I see right in front of my face. You couldn't have survived this era. You couldn't have survived 2011 when PlayStation was hacked the whole month and people had to strategize ways to either get online or just deal with what they had. What doesn't help, before I move on to this next topic, because I've been at this for 40 minutes, and this goes to gaming in general, okay? This is my little letter to gaming right now, okay? Dear gaming companies, Sony, Nintendo, PlayStation, when the fuck are you gonna bring back split screen gaming? We're not in pandemic era anymore. Now I understand we are in this era with online gaming where this is mostly all we play. I get it and I understand it. But when the hell are we going to start bringing back local gaming again? Y'all have, I swear, and I feel bad for kids nowadays that didn't understand, that didn't go through what I went through back then, where me and a friend had an Xbox. We would have two Xboxes, and shout out to Xbox for this, where if we were playing a game of Halo, we were playing a game of Call of Duty, we were playing whatever the fuck it was that had System Link. If y'all remember what System Link was, you're a real one. Where you had two Xboxes and you had an Ethernet cord, and you hooked the both of them up together, and just like that, you got 8-player multiplayer. And you could just sit down with your friends on two TVs playing these games. Can we bring back that fun that was local multiplayer again? Local split screen again. Can we bring that back? Because there's only so few games that can do this now. We already know there's Smash Brothers. We already know, there's, fighting games in this case, which is 2 players, or in Smash Brothers case, there's 4 players, possibly 8. We don't have this anymore with Call of Duty, which is a damn shame. We don't have this anymore. We really don't have this anymore with Halo anymore. Yes, Winter. In fact, you know what? Let's go ahead and have a nice little history lesson, so I can go ahead and show y'all exactly what System Link was all about. Oh my God, y'all gonna wish y'all was there for those days. Because it was trash talk, it was fun, it was competitive, and you know what? It made you want to be better at the game you wanted to play. This nowadays is what Microsoft is lacking. And I should say Nintendo as well, but Nintendo's just barely keeping it alive with Smash Brothers. Thank God they had it so you could just play with 8 people. I'm going to take a look at that video. We're definitely going to talk more about the NFL in a little bit. But let me go ahead and show y'all what Halo System Link was like, because my goodness, bro. I'm telling you. People don't know what this shit was like. This was System Link back then. This is the best way I can show it. This is how you know this is old school. This is 8 years ago. And he said, we're bringing you some Halo CE multiplayer from back in 2003. And as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 players, 4 consoles, all linked up together, and we just having the fucking time of our life, bro. And look, back then you could name your Xbox. I don't know if you still can name it now, but you know, with your Xbox or your PlayStations, but even back in 2001, you could name your Xbox. Take a look at this shit. Capture the flag. And I understand you can barely see, but hey, that was 360, that was 240p gaming back then. There was no voice chats. There was no Xbox headset, at least not till later in 2004. There wasn't any of that. It was just you, your friends, bring your controller, bring your game in case one game fucks up. Sitting down in couches and having that time of your life. Halo did this. There's one other game I believe that, yeah, here we go, right here, perfect. This showed exactly what I'm talking about. 12 years ago, by the way. Yeah, Red Ring of Death, that's fucking terrible. Now I understand that. Halo Reach, yes. I'll allow it even for this. And yes, there were situations like this where for a system link to properly work, we had it so that we had one group go in one room, we had the other group go in the other room, because what we would do is because there was a fear going on that there was a thing we used to call it back then in Philly. I don't know if anyone still calls it that even now globally. We used to call it screen jocking at the time, where one guy would just look on the other person's screen, specifically in the free throw, and they would just see where they were at, or they would see what they were doing, and they would try to follow them or trace where they were and kill them. And that was very much shunned upon. Oh, I ain't see all this though. That's a whole different story. Yeah, basically it's cheating. Did that shit in the 1v1 in Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, pretty much.
So we got any food around here? What?
But yeah, basically that was Halo System Link, bro. What's going on here? I'll see what that's all about in a little bit. With old school Madden. But yeah, basically to put it simply, that was System Link. Thank you. I did just hydrate. That's a loss. This is forever gonna be a lost art. And it's amazing to me because no other console copied this. This is still an Xbox thing. You can't do this on PlayStation. You can never do this on PlayStation. At least I don't think you can. More System Link, by the way. I don't know how this is possible, but hey, we have an idea. Oh, never mind. Excellent Kai, I know what that is. Never mind. That was another feature they would use to still play Halo online when Xbox multiplayer was down at the time. People were still trying to find ways to play these old games. But yeah, dear gaming, Dear Gaming, bring back local multiplayer, please. You want to really have a happy community? Bring this shit back. Fuck all this Fortnite shit real quick. Bring this kind of fun back. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? Bring this back. Look at all these system link games. You had, I don't know what the fuck Crimson Sky is. I know what MX versus ATV is. I know what Midnight Club, Forza. You had more of that. Dirt 2, 3, 4, of course, Reach, Call of Duty 3. Goddamn. Left 4 Dead was system link. Okay. I guess that, I don't know how that's possible, but hey, I'm not complaining. Yeah. That's all there is, man. Anyway, let's go on to our next topic. I've been at this for a while. I've been at this for almost an hour. Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter. So, if anybody has not downloaded the beta yet, you have till the 9th. You have till tomorrow to play this game. Okay? Now, I didn't stream it yesterday. I probably am going to stream it tonight because, of course, as y'all know, tomorrow is the Super Bowl and I am not going to be playing a goddamn thing. So, if you want to get some more fun in, do it now. But I will say be very wary. Of course, if you're playing on the PC version, be very wary because, you know, there's always going to be some issues that's coming up. Like, luckily, we figured out the issue going on with Winter. There's an issue in Fuyu's case where Fuyu doesn't even see any cutscenes, and even if she can't really run it well because of cutscenes. And if it's not that because of the cutscenes, then it's because of the fact that her frame rate's kind of ass when she plays it. So play it for now while you can, if you can play it. If not, I recommend just actually playing this on the PlayStation or the Xbox. And as I say this because we're on the topic of Monster Hunter, I'm just gonna head and point it like this. If there's a game that would actually hurt more if online play was to cease to exist, it would be Monster Hunter. At least I think so. I understand Monster Hunter came out in 2003, 2004. But there's no way they're going to be able to revert back to what they were when it was Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. I can't see it after all that they've done to progress this far. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I mean, if they make it work, they make it work. They can shut me up. I mean, it's Capcom. Of course, they can easily make it work. But I can't see a game that screams co-op fun quite like Monster Hunter. I just wish I would be able to see what would happen if Monster Hunter ever did split screen. Honest to God, I imagine how much fun that would be. Now, the only thing that would be a question is how would it work because of the HUD. But I'm sure they would have found a way. But yeah, y'all got till the 9th. And if playing till the 9th ain't it for you, if you're willing to skip this first open beta test to this first date, you can catch it again on the next date, of course, February the 13th, up until the 16th. Now, I can easily do the second beta test only because of the fact that I'm off on that Friday, I'm off on Saturday, and I actually go back to work on the 16th. And the 7th, of course, the 17th. So I'll be able to really do the second open beta test. So I'm not going to be worried about streaming all that much for this particular one. It's the second one that I'm going to have to come back to. But I hope the second time around, when they come back with this open beta test 2, when they come back with this the second time around, they fix a good bit of the issues that's, you know, currently plaguing a couple PC gamers right now. Because the way that I see it is this. Y'all got it right for the Xbox and PlayStation. Okay? This shit is fine. Like, you can get on the beta and play it, no problem. There won't be an issue. My biggest worry, when this shit comes out for the PC, what the fuck's gonna happen? Like, what are you doing? Like Xbox and PlayStation, you won't have an issue. It's PC that we have an issue with. And I agree with you, Winter. Like, look, I spent my bread getting this for PC. Like, I actually upgraded my PC to get ready for this. I actually just literally, like, how can I put it? Like, word for word, bar for bar, match the whole entire requirements for this game. I couldn't get any lower. I can't get no higher than this. I match exactly what this game wants. So if this game is still fucking up at its release, I'm gonna have a problem. So I hope and pray when this game comes out, we don't have a problem. At least as much as a problem that we're having with this one. I know every game's gonna have its issues, but in this case with Monster Hunter, please don't be as bad as we think it is, because this is the worst we had to worry about with the optimization problems in Monster Hunter. We didn't have this issue in World. We didn't have this issue in Rise. Clearly with Rise we know why, but we didn't have this issue in World. The optimization issues that were present in the first beta for PC, yeah, we know, Kokek. Welcome, by the way, my man. It's been a while since I've seen you. But, yeah, they did state that. I'm going to go ahead and say this. They literally stated and said, when it goes to like full release of this game, they said that these issues you're seeing right now, you won't see it on full release. I'm going to hold them to their word. I pray we don't see this. I'm praying to God we don't see this. Because this would suck if me and Winter would have to play with a much more buggy mess than we've already are experiencing right now. And we spent our hard-earned money for this. So, hopefully on release, we won't get that problem. Yeah, we know. Yeah, I ran it. And it ran pretty good. It ran with really no issues. They said it went from excellent. It only dipped down once to say it was good, but still, that's because I increased it little by little. But they said, look, you're fine when you played this game, regardless. So, in my case, I better be. I better be fine. I better be good when this release. I more so want to see how it'll go when I'm playing it and streaming it. See, playing it's not a problem. It's playing and streaming it's a whole different thing. Because I'm running much more hardware just to get this get this going. And if you think about it, it'll be just as expensive on PS5 because I would have to exactly Winter. Which is exactly why even I don't want to get it for the PlayStation 5. Because what the hell is the point of me trying to get this on PlayStation now when it's like, look, I gotta pay for online to play with y'all. I hated that conception then. I still hate it now. Even though I understand it, I hate it. I hate that I have to spend money to get the game and I gotta spend more just to stick with you. You said, but the bench sucks. It shouldn't be as stuttery as molasses. Feel you. That's why I said when you have time, I want to be able to help you out with your laptop to see if we can figure out this issue here. When it goes to your laptop. Hopefully it won't be like that when I finish up here. But that's why I have to update 3 months the entire year, because that reason is annoying. Yeah, it still is annoying for me. And on top of that, I don't have much of a use when it goes to the PlayStation anyway, besides offline gaming that I already talked about. Anyway, I'm gonna move on from that because I already said what I had to say with PlayStation. I'm not gonna get back into it with them. But yeah, like I said, if y'all want to play the beta, play it now because you have till tomorrow. You have till tomorrow. So, get your games in now. Get your hunts in now. Play it now. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting until the 13th. If you're willing to wait that long for the 13th, even though it's not long for real. It's only a couple days. But knowing how we are as Monster Hunters, 3 days feels like it's fucking forever when it goes to, us wanting more of this game. We wasn't sure if we were going to get a second open beta after how much fun we had with the first one. So, with this one, again, we'll see how We'll see how this will go. Okay. So next thing we have to talk about, we got to talk about a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's not that long. So Yu-Gi-Oh right now with Master Duel, I need the full release. Yes, I also need the full release. I already got it pre-ordered. I mean, like, I'm almost done paying it off. I pre-ordered it on like CD keys, and I'm almost done. Cocaine, no, PSN is not down anymore. It's back up. So get your ass online and go have fun. It's legitimately back up. So we got for Master Duel, we got February events going on. It's still off for me. That's weird. Like, did you just get on it and it's still off? So I don't know what the fuck they're doing. So for Master Duel, we have the Legend Anthology event. Now this one is gonna be great if you guys love the anime. If y'all love the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, the Legend Anthology this time around is gonna be based on the Blue Eyes White Dragon, the Dark Magician, and the Red Eyes Black Dragon. So Joey Wheeler, Kaiba, and Yukimoto. So there you go. Have fun if y'all like the Legend Anthology. But here's the deal: just because it's focused, I'm gonna go ahead and hit y'all with a little heads up. Just because it's focused on these 3 cards, these 3 decks, that does not mean you are not allowed to use other decks from certain events for some reason, because they make it so okay you can use this with this even though it doesn't relate to said character. So I expect this to be the case. You've been trying since 4 a.m. Get back on it right now. Like, when you can, get back on it right now, because Wario64 did confirm that it's back on and people are able to just download shit again. You are? Alright. Alright. I don't know what the hell is going on. PlayStation, you need to fix your shit then. I don't know what the fuck you doing. Now, another one we got going on. I never turned my game off since 4 a.m. Well, ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit, PlayStation? We need to have a talk, PlayStation. But later on, I'm not gonna do it. I spent 50 minutes talking about PlayStation. With this one, we have the Fusion and the Synchro Festival. So, if you liked Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, or if you liked Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, this was right up your alley. So, this one's gonna be a bit of fun. Because personally, for me, I love the Fusion cards, and I just as much love the Synchro cards as well. So, yeah, we'll see how this will go. I am gonna say this: if you're new to Master Duel, if you're new, give me a minute. They should have pointed it out. They usually have it pointed out. Give me a minute. They have a thing where right now, that's the forbidden list. Huh, that's weird. They usually have it here. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and tell you because I already know what the hell's going on. So, right now, when it goes to Master Duel, they have a thing going on where you can get a solid deck the minute you get inside of the game. You just have to enter in a friend's code. And the deck for this is the branded deck, the branded Despia deck. So let me go ahead and, like, I'm not going to show y'all entirely, but if you guys are into lore or some shit like that, these cards are not only very good, like, in Master Duel or just Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. They're not only good for Master Duel, but they also have very good lore. So, let me just go ahead and just give y'all this here. I mean, shit, right here, 15 minutes. This is great.
In a faraway land known as the Abyss,
I'm not going to play it for long, but I want y'all to get an idea of what you're going to see. There's more going on with Master Duel that I'm going to tell you.
Church and the High Priest Maximus. It is home to warriors and saints alike who protect their religion and their icon, the Nexus. Ecclesia and Fleur-de-Lis, two of Dogmatica's saints, hear a loud noise and commotion coming from outside the church while preparing for a religious ceremony. A blazing red fireball descends from a hole in the sky, crashing into the land below. When the dust settles, an ashen silver dragon appears. Saint Fleur-de-Lis arms herself and strikes a yellow lightning from her sword upon the dragon, swiftly disabling it. The dragon is defeated. In its place appears a boy, the fallen of Albaz. Fleur-de-Lis aims to finish the job, but Ecclesia shows the boy compassion. The church, on the other hand, does not. From afar, a loud gunshot is heard. Ferajid of the Tri-Brigade fires the opening shot, while the rest of her rebel warrior beasts fly in to claim Albaz for themselves and help him and Ecclesia escape the capital. The Ashians, in an act of desperation, cast a spell that pains and burns the mark on Ecclesia's forehead, a mark that is common among all Dogmatica saints, known as the Stigmata. Feeling Ecclesia's pain, Albaz transforms into Brigrand, the Glory Dragon, taking on the Stigmata on himself and allowing the Tri-Brigade to fight their way out of the nation safely. It's a full-on brawl as the two leaders of the opposing nations fight brutally in the sky. The Tri-Brigade manage to escape and make their way back to their home, the desert of Golganda.
Now I'm gonna stop here because as you can see, there's 15-minute videos showing everything that there is about the Fallen of Albaz and the story. So when you get on Master Duel, if you're able to put in your friend's code, you're able to get that deck and you're able to get the cards that come with it. Those cards are still fucking good. Like, Mirror Jade is still good. Of course, Albaz is still good because I'll go ahead and give you a quick little thing with what Fallen of Albaz does when he hits the field. When Fallen of Albaz hits the field and you have a monster from your opponent's side on the field, you get to use that card as a fusion material. So you basically just get to take off your opponent's monster and you get to use it for your own personal gain. That can't be much more sweeter than that, right? So but yeah, there's more to it when it goes to the Fallen of Albaz and its story. But if you guys want to be able to put down a code, you could use my code for this. If you're new to the game or if you haven't gotten on Master Duel in so much as 30 days, well over 30 days, then you get to enter this code and it will work. So here it is. Let me copy this and paste right there. Now, if you do happen to miss the code, you can just get on the Duelist chat in my Discord and you will be able to see it from there. And you still get to enter it and have a bit of fun. Now, if more than one person enters that code, there's more prizes that I think, not just me, but I think you'll get as well. The first is the Blaze of Albaz pack. The second is the Granganol fusion card, which again relates to Branded. The third is the Alubur case. I would show you who Alubur is, but I want you to get those cards. Or better yet, I want you to look at the lore when it goes to the Fallen of Albaz, so then you'll see who Alubur is and what makes him important. The fourth is the Branded Loss and Albaz the Ashened. And fifth is 50 gems. So if 5 people put in that same code, you get all those rewards. So there you go. If anyone wants to see more of that lore, you have it right there. I have it. There's a link for it. You could put it up there, pause it, or if you want, you could play it and mute me and listen to the lore, or look at the lore and have yourself a good time. There's one more though. Like I said, I'm not done with Master Duel yet. It's not just this when it goes to the Fallen of Albaz. I have one more thing to show you with what they're trying to do. So this is what's going on right now with Master Duel, and I definitely do plan this because I'm only gonna play the first part of it, so you'll be able to see what's going on. And when it goes to the Sky Strikers here, so let me see if I'll be able to. You know what? Yeah, I think this is good enough. Yeah, this is good enough right here. So I'm gonna stop there because I haven't seen the rest of these animations because I'm gonna go through that on the solo gate. So basically what's going on, if you didn't remember me covering this from before, Yukio decided to sit up there and say, let's finally start taking these cards that we have so much lore with that people may or may not know of. Let's start taking these cards and actually put them in the animation. Fallen of Albaz will be one of those animations. The Sky Strikers will be another one of those animations as well for what we're seeing here. So we're only getting a preview. With that preview, we're getting a solo gate with the Sky Strikers. I will be doing that later when we finish this this little podcast here. But that isn't the only thing we're getting that's with Sky Striker as well. We're getting more things, like we're getting a new, more alternative card arts with Sky Striker. We have a mate with Sky Striker Ray, the main character here. We have a new alternative card art for Reinforcement of the Army. If you guys have seen me use that card a bit, you're getting a Sky Striker version of that card. So I'm trying to actually pull that and get that. So wish me luck. But yeah, we got a couple things going on here with the Sky Strikers on top of us having a new card pack that's coming out, which is the Fiendsmiths. And of course, everyone's favorite winning animation with Exodia as well. So for anyone that knows a bit about Yukio, you would know that if there's two things you'll probably know with Yukio in animation or lore or funny shit, is two things. It's either Blue Eyes White Dragon with Kaiba. I should say three things, I'm sorry. Blue Eyes White Dragon with Kaiba, the Dark Magician, and of course we can't just not mention Exodia. Exodia just got some new support, which you have seen it from right here. You see it from right here. You see him right here at the top. You see the card right here, the Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate. So once I should be able to read the card. In fact, here's the wallpaper for the card. This is the dual pass for it, where you have the main card. You got the Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle there, like a cute little cat thing. And of course, you got the Wicked Avatar as a freaking icon. That's absolutely insane. You have a big ass black spear as an icon. Yup. More Exodia support, Kuma. More Exodia support. Let me see, let me go to Master Duel Meta real quick so I could show y'all what these cards are. Because for some reason they didn't pull it up right here. That's kind of fucking stupid to me. Here it is, leaks and updates. In fact, ooh, okay. We got Fiendsmith shit going on here. Okay, I'm gonna actually like this. Okay, we definitely got a couple stuff here that they didn't show. But yeah, as you can see, these are the cards I was talking about with the Ray cards. Here, for some reason we didn't get Lacrima the Crimson Tears, which is a Fiendsmith card. I don't know why we didn't get that on release. We have the Reinforcement of the Army alternative art, which I'm showing you here, which is right here. I know y'all can barely see it, but I'll go ahead and post these so that way you'll see for yourself. I'll post it right over here so you can see it as close as you can. You know, Sky Striker Ray alternative art. You got Sky Striker Hayate, which I actually just got two of when I pulled it. I fucking laughed. I didn't get Shizuku though, but there you go. There's that. You have oh, this is actually one thing that's cool. Of course, the solo interface. That one was fixed. Deck editing filters have been improved. You can now visibly filter by link arrows, which is cool. You can now follow a player after finishing a duel. So if you liked having to duel with that player, but you want to be able to, you know, keep up with their content or face them again, you can follow them. This right here for me is cool. You can now set a mate on a per deck level. So if I make one deck that's synchro, I can have this mate related to it. Or if I make one deck that's fusion, I put in the mate that's related to it, or whichever which I want. You know, you can mix and match and have fun with them too. You can have up to 5 wallpapers besides your home screen. So we literally got Wallpaper Engine Master Duel Edition. That's essentially what we got. So that's funny as fuck to me. But yeah, other than that, that's all we really got with Master Duel besides the new card that's new card pack that's here, which is the Forbidden Liberated. Other than that, that's everything. When it goes to gaming, we covered Master Duel, we covered PlayStation, we covered, of course, we talked a little bit about Halo and the system link. We talked really all that I could really think of. Yeah, so yeah. If there's anything else y'all want to talk about that's gaming related, now's the time. Yeah, of course, PlayStation as well. We talked PlayStation for like 50 minutes. I'm done bringing it up. And of course, Monster Hunter. But yeah, if there's anything else that's gaming related that y'all want to talk about, now's the time. Because when we start talking sports, that's it. There's no going back. So, y'all got any other topics? Y'all got something y'all want to bring up that I may have missed? Now's the time. I'm going to take a little sip of this tea real quick, though. Oh, I needed that. Man, I talked for so fucking long. It was mostly on PlayStation. Oh, my God. All right. But that being said, because there's no comments to bring up if there's any gaming stuff, this is what we gotta talk about. We're now finally reached this point. We've now reached the point where we're at the last game of the NFL season. The Super Bowl. We've reached that time. We've reached that point. Before I go ahead and I talk about the Super Bowl, I want to go ahead and mention this. I hope y'all have a good memory because I'm going to ask you this question for anyone that was here for as long as y'all were. Do you guys remember my podcast episode when we lost to the Chiefs the first time around in Super Bowl 57? Because if you do, I want to ask this question. Do you remember what I said that day when we lost in Super Bowl 57? I want to test your memory real quick. If you remember what I said. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, that was it. That was exactly what I said. In fact, there's no way you probably wouldn't be able to hear me say it because eventually it would show up in clips on the BRB screen where I said, word for word, we will be back here someday. Lo and behold, 2 years later, we're back right at the same position. The only thing that's different are the teams and the location. But the objective is going to remain the same. And that objective is to still win the Super Bowl. It's crazy because I didn't think it would happen just like that. I actually didn't think what I said at that time that it was going to happen. Where it's like, you know what? I have a feeling. I did say right after this, I said right after that game, I said, we're not going to make the Super Bowl the following year, but we might have I probably said something along the lines of, we might have a shot of making it the year after or so, or probably later on than that. And you know what? I should have actually put my money where my mouth was. I should have actually betted on them to get back to the Super Bowl that day. But we finally reached it. We're back here at the Super Bowl, facing on the same team, getting our rematch on the same team that beat us on the most controversial situations possible, which is the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I did say that the rosters has changed when it went to the Chiefs and the Eagles. I'm going to say this, not a whole lot changed with the Chiefs since that win. Not a whole lot. The only thing that really changed with the Chiefs were certain defensive pieces that were there the first time they beat us. Certain defensive pieces that were there, they're gone. They're not there anymore. That doesn't mean that they lost their defensive line stream. Don't get it twisted. They can still just as much rush the passer and they can still sack the quarterback. If anything, I will say this. This is the worst version of the Chiefs we've had since the Mahomes era, and these motherfuckers are still back at the Super Bowl. Now, you would think with that being said that a team would have beaten them in the playoffs by now to where they wouldn't have even gotten to this point. But the Bills failed. How you doing, Sin? I know you just got here. The Bills failed. Of course, because I know you don't watch football, Sin. How you doing, bro? I'm not so much going to harp on the Texans for losing that game versus the Chiefs, because I look at it like this at the end of the day. For one, nobody expected the Texans to get that far in the playoffs anyway. It's the Bills I'm mad at still at the end of the day, because they had multiple opportunities to put them away. This quote unquote worst team, worst version of the Chiefs, they had the opportunity to put them away and stamp their ticket to the Super Bowl, and they blew it. We would have had a whole different situation if it was Eagles versus Bills. I can say that right now. Whole different situation. But you want to know what made it so that the Chiefs are in this position in the first place? It's literally because of three people. Three people. Now, Eagles, I know you're here. I know you're a football head as much as I am. Omega, I know you're here. I know you're a football head as much as I am. Who are the three people that have helped the Chiefs get to this point again when they shouldn't be here? Who are the three fucking people that have gotten to this point, helped them get to this point? Now, if y'all don't know an answer to that, feel free to go ahead and tell me y'all don't know. But it amazes me that season by season, these three people alone are why they've gotten here, when they should have fell off the face of the earth. At least not fall off the face of the earth. At the very worst, they should have at least gotten eliminated from the playoffs. They shouldn't even be here. In fact, early in the season, when you see how the Chiefs were playing, they played like a team that was bound to lose in the playoffs. But here they are, right back here. You're right on two of them. But there's one more. You're right on two of them. It's another coach. I'm going to tell y'all for why the Chiefs are at this point. It's literally because of Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and this motherfucker right here that I'm circling with my mouse. This motherfucker right here. If y'all don't know Steve Spagnuolo by now as a football head, you're going to get a good history lesson. What Steve Spagnuolo is good for, literally just watch the 2007 game versus, with the Giants and the Patriots. Look at that game. That man single-handedly did just enough, did as much as he could, pulled out all the stops, and eliminated a perfect season from the Patriots. He gave them their only loss of the season. And then you fast forward to 2011 and beats those motherfuckers again. The only time Steve Spagnuolo lost to Tom Brady was when it was Patriots versus Bucs Super Bowl, and there was only so much his defense can do because the Chiefs' offensive line was decimated that game. And Patrick Mahomes was running for his life. That was the only game he lost to Tom Brady. Other than that, if he had a line, if Patrick Mahomes had his line that day, who's to say that he wouldn't have eliminated Tom Brady in general? Like, all games that they faced, he would have been, 4-0, 5-0 versus Brady? That's insane to think about. Tom Brady is the greatest player in our current generation, and Steve Spagnuolo had that man in jail. Couldn't pass for shit on his defense. We fast forward to the first game that the Eagles and the Chiefs met in this Super Bowl, where Steve Spagnuolo had to figure out, how do you stop Jalen Hurts? Now, he did just enough, and I mean it when I say this. He did just enough to stop Jalen Hurts in that game. And I only say just enough because the minute that the Eagles punted that ball away on 4th and 3, that was it. The game was over. That punt return happened. And of course, the infamous holding call that cost us our second Super Bowl the first time around. It cost us everything that game. But make no mistake about it, Steve Spagnuolo looked back at that game in the Super Bowl and was wondering, how the fuck do you stop this dude? Now, I'll say this till I'm blue in the face with the Eagles, okay? We were a holding call and we were a run game, which people forget, very much forget, very much have a selective memory towards. We were a run game and a holding call away from beating the Chiefs. Because Jalen Hurts was the leading rusher in that game. I already covered it in the previous episode, so I don't have to look back here. Now, let's fast forward to the second meeting, which was right after the Super Bowl. It was on the it was in the regular season the following year. I think it was week 10, week 8, some shit like that, when the Eagles went up against the Chiefs. Now, the Eagles this time, they got their lick back. Not necessarily, but they got their lick back. They beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead. The reason they beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead, because let's be honest, KC had an off day that day. And they were dropping a lot of passes that day on some Nelson Aguilar shit, where they couldn't hold on to anything. Like you could literally put fucking super glue in their hands and they still would have dropped it. You could put sticky tape, super glue, fucking tar, whatever on their hands, and they still wouldn't have caught the ball. They couldn't catch shit that day. And you know what? You want to know what's crazy? Though? What's more crazy? I know I'm supposed to be talking about Jalen Hurts versus Steve Spagnuolo, but what's more crazy is even though after the Eagles beat the Chiefs, they still go on to win the Super Bowl because of what the fuck happened with them and the 49ers. Where all the 49ers had to do was run the goddamn ball. Was running Ulrich, that's fine. But Steve Spagnuolo in that game versus Jalen Hurts the second time around, let me go ahead and look up the stats from that game. It's very different from what it was when we lost versus, the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. It's very different. Jalen Hurts went 14 of 22, 150 yards, and 1 interception. Very different stats compared to when he went 200, 250, and then we went 300 yards and 2-3 touchdowns. Very different. Now, here's one thing to keep in mind from this game. I don't know if A.J. Brown was injured that game, but we didn't see him at all. Devontae Smith, still being Devontae Smith, I'm going to keep an eye on him. I'll talk about him in a little bit. Once again, for the second straight game, I need to say this, the run game was damn near almost non-existent. Jalen Hurts carried the ball 12 times. DeAndre Swift carried the ball 12 times. Now, granted, DeAndre Swift had 76 yards, but it was on 6.3 yards per carry with 12 attempts. He didn't get the run game going as much as you think he would. So, once again, this is a common theme when it goes to that first game in the Super Bowl and this first game here in the regular season. The run game didn't really show up at all. And then this time around, Jalen Hurts, of course, doesn't bail out the Eagles with the lack of a run game, where he went 14 of 22, 150. What bailed us out was the Chiefs just fucking it up. You're not going to get that this time around. And this is what I want to see how Steve Spagnuolo is going to respond. Okay? Now, is he a legendary defensive coordinator? Is this guy a legendary defensive coordinator? Absolutely. Yes, he is. He has won, 5 rings? 4 or 5 rings? He's beaten Brady twice. Won against the 49ers twice. And beat the Eagles. So, yeah, that's 5 rings as a defensive coordinator. Legendary shit from him. What I want to see in this game is how is Steve Spagnuolo gonna respond to one guy and one guy only, and all I'm gonna do, and it's not Jalen Hurts, by the way. I want to see how he's going to respond when this happens in New Orleans.
Been the guy today, 7 catches, his best game. Here's Barkley, Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley's the guy. He's going to take it. Touchdown from 65.
I want to see how he's going to respond when he has to deal with Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. Because I personally look at it like this. He hasn't seen a team that's really willing to punch you in the mouth when it goes to the running game and actually stick with it, which is the biggest issue I've seen from that 49ers game, from that Bills game, and from the Texan games. All three games that I have looked at so far. Now, granted, yes, I said this before with the Texans. I really feel like they didn't have a shot. But at the end of the day, the weakness is right there, right in front of your face. And nobody is taking advantage of this shit. Can Steve Spagnuolo stop the run? I need to see this. That guy right there, number 26, is going to determine whether or not the Eagles win their second Super Bowl. Because, you know what? Not just him, that offensive line and Saquon Barkley is going to determine whether or not we win the Super Bowl. So, here's how I look at it. If Saquon Barkley gets over 100 yards, no, I'll take that back. If he gets 130 yards or even close to 130 yards rushing versus the Chiefs, the only way the Chiefs win this Super Bowl is Patrick Mahomes is gonna have to actually tap the fuck in and go back to being nuclear Mahomes. That is the literal only way I can see the Chiefs winning this game. Because we're gonna see this in the first half. No, I'll take that back. Yeah, really the first half. Really the first half. I was about to say the second half, but it's really the first half that we're about to find out and see how this is going to go. If the Chiefs cannot contain Saquon Barkley at any point in this game, it's going to not only tell me, but it's going to tell the whole world, especially Kyle Shanahan, who I'm looking at dead in the face because you had two opportunities to put these motherfuckers away, where all you had to do was play time possession, play keep away, and just run the fucking ball down their throats. That's all it took to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me find out if that ends up being the reason. Not Jalen Hurts. Not people expecting Jalen Hurts to go nuclear. Because I'll be honest, I'll be the first to tell you. If I expect QB1, if I expect Jalen Hurts to go nuclear in this fucking game, I'm going to be real with you. He hasn't done it at all this season besides this Washington game. I'm not expecting him to do it in the biggest game of his career. I'm not expecting him to do this. If Jalen Hurts goes for 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and we somehow still lose again, that means our running game didn't do a damn thing. Either that or we're just shit out of luck and our defense decides to shit the bed. But heading into this game, it's not about whether, can Vic Fangio stop Andy Reid? It's not about that. It's really not more so the Chiefs offense and the Eagles defense, as crazy as it sounds. It's not about the Chiefs offense versus the Eagles defense. It's about the Eagles rushing offense versus the Chiefs run defense. Who would have thought? Our Super Bowl is really going to hinge on, of course, the guy we've leaned upon since that Bucks blowout. Number 26, Saquon Barkley. You couldn't have picked a better way to write this story for me. not just for me, but even for Saquon Barkley as well, the guy who sat up there and was on a rival team on the New York Giants for 4 or 5 years. I'm going to get to that in a minute, Eagles. He was on the New York Giants for like 4 or 5 years. Gets let go and told to go test the open market. We don't want to pay you what you're worth. Gets the contract he's looking for. He signs with us for 3 years. And the only thing he has done so far is slowly and painfully made the Giants pay. Not giving him the money, but instead they gave it to their quarterback who they just let go this season. Imagine that. You let go of 2 players. 1 player you were supposed to sign, 1 player you signed, and he didn't work out. Well, ain't that some shit for New Yorkers, isn't it? And now he has a chance to stick it to his old team for good. One more time, he has the chance to stick that to them by telling them, guess what? I was the reason that this team won a Super Bowl, and it's within your own division. I signed to the Eagles to spite you. I didn't sign to the Eagles because they gave me the money I was looking for. And boy, he would ever spite them so much by winning a Super Bowl and becoming a legend here just like that after 1 season. So when tomorrow comes on, when the Super Bowl comes on, pay attention to number 26. And if you see this man running like this, hold up.
Here's Barkley, a little shovel.
If you see him have this much space, he's more than likely either getting a first down or this is going to happen.
Looking for an edge, gets it. Saquon Barkley, first down. Barkley, oh! Saquon, touchdown.
Simple, they run, they fake the jet sweep and run a toss crack. And Saquon in space, 13 yards downfield. Chin can't get him on the ground. Martin can't get him on the ground.
He's going to be the guy that's going to determine whether the Eagles win the Super Bowl and they get revenge or the Chiefs three-peat. Now, I understand this video is all about Steve Spagnuolo and his blitz packages. I completely get that. I understand that. But if Steve Spagnuolo can't stop the run, he's not going to have time to do these blitzes. We're going to find out tomorrow with what's going to happen. So, we're at this point. Hey, look, my PlayStation's beeping. Well, on my phone is beeping. So, we're now at this point where I'm going to give, we're going to start giving our predictions. Everyone, give your prediction for the Super Bowl. Who do you think is going to win, the Eagles and the Chiefs? And if you do, what's the score going to be? And who is going to be the reason that said team wins the Super Bowl? Now, obviously with me, you already know, the Eagles are going to win this Super Bowl. And the reason we're going to win this Super Bowl is because of Saquon Barkley. If the Chiefs cannot stop him, not only in the first half, but even in the second half, in fact, the whole game, I'm going to be looking at Saquon Barkley the minute we get the ball. Especially like this. If it becomes 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, if we get in those downs consistently, The Chiefs are not winning this game. It's all up to that run defense for the Chiefs. And if they cannot hold Saquon Barkley to the amount of yards that they need to hold him to, they are fucked. Because this time around, we're not going to have it come down to Patrick Mahomes in the last minute win the Super Bowl. We're not going to have this. We're going to leave it all up to that defense that, as you can see, even Brett Coleman himself is praising the high hell. We're going to test him like no team has tested him in a long time. Because for some reason, anytime teams go up against the Chiefs, they lose their way. They play out of character, such as the Bills, where they know damn well they could run on this team, but then they choose to stop giving their running back the ball. And then when that happens, then it's game over, Chiefs win. This is all I want to see in emote form tomorrow. This is all I want to see. All I want to see is this Chiefs defense getting punched in the mouth and being like this. Look, you have all these blitz packages. You have all these schemes going on. You have all of this going on at your favor. But the one thing we have at our favor that you don't have is you don't have the power to move people like how this Eagles offensive line has been moving people since that Bucks loss, which is like week 5 or week 4. All the schemes in the world ain't gonna matter if you're getting bulldozed every play. You're gonna get tired, no matter how much you scheme. So the score for me is gonna be like this. It's going to be 27-21 Eagles. Now, we're not going to stop the Chiefs from scoring their touchdowns. That much is true. We're not going to stop them. Travis Kelce is going to get his. I'm letting you know now. Travis Kelce is going to get his. He is going to get his catches. He is going to get his yards. That is commonplace. That's going to happen. You will have to weather the storm that is Patrick Mahomes. That is going to happen. I see it coming as well. Vic Fangio, there's going to be a point in Vic Fangio's defense where he's going to stay far too relaxed and make it so his defense is not locked in. We had this happen with the Washington game for a little bit, until we blew them out. We had this happen with the Rams game where we would have lost that Rams game if not for Jalen Carter. This is going to happen with Vic Fangio's defense. But at the end of the day, the Eagles weather all that. There's going to be one guy that's going to be the reason we win this game, and it's number 26. You would think I'd be crazy putting my money down on Saquon Barkley being the reason we win this game. But the way how I see it, that's exactly what's going to have to happen here. Because you see these Chiefs playoffs games, the Texans, the 49ers in that Super Bowl, and the Bills have one thing in common. All of their running backs stop running the ball. The Chiefs have been lucky for like 3-4 years because their teams, these opposing teams, stop running the ball down their throat and they get fucking nervous thinking, oh shit, it's 3rd and 5, it's 3rd and 6. Oh shit, we gotta pass to get this first down. Then the next thing you know, a fucking blitz comes your way, and then you're sacked. And now you're sacked not only out of field goal range, you have to give the ball back to Kansas City, and it's game over. I am sick of that shit. I need Saquon to be the reason. The score, like I said, 27-21. Till then, if anyone else, if you have any thoughts, if you have any predictions, now's the time. Before I go ahead and I end this, I end this podcast. And yes, I will be talking on Tuesday. I will be talking on Tuesday with win or lose with how this whole shit went. Just like I did, a few years back. I will be doing the same thing. Yo, Kaioshin, what's good, bro? You said War Room Talk? Yeah, pretty much War Room Talk is in the draft. But yeah, pretty much, man. I said all that there was to say. If anyone else got any thoughts, if no one has any more, that's it. We're done. I'm going to take this sip of tea because I fucking deserve it. I know. I believe it will be by 10 by 10. So you think it's going to be by 10, but you also believe it will be Saquon. Yeah, pretty much. I feel like we're going to win around that point, either by 10. Yeah, definitely that too. But another key thing for the Eagles is we have to win by 2 scores. It has to be by 2 possessions. It has to be by 2 touchdowns. Eagles' best shot to pretty much put the Chiefs away is win by 2 or more possessions. If it's by 1 possession, it's advantage Chiefs. Now, the reason why I said 27-21 is because I feel like most of the game it's going to be by 2 possessions, but I also think at some point in the last moments of the game, of course the Chiefs are going to want to go for an onside kick. We recover the onside kick and it's over. Now, we'll see from there. You said the refs are going to show up. Oh, I believe it. But here's the deal. If the refs actually do what they did 2 years ago and they call a fair game, the Chiefs are fucked. If they call a fair game, the Chiefs are fucked. They only called a fair game up until that holding call. There wasn't many penalties. So I see this being the case where if it's a fair game again, it's over. So we'll see. We will see. Till then, guys, that's it. I'm done for now. I will come back a little later because I will be playing a little bit of Master Duel. Might play a little bit of Master Duel because of the whole Sky Striker story. I will be playing some Monster Hunter as well, just for a little bit. And then after that, well, it is what it is. Tomorrow's the big day. Till then, guys, if I don't see you guys back here later tonight, I will see y'all here for Tuesday, where we will do a post-game recap of the Super Bowl. But if I do, that'd be great. I'll be happy to see you. Till then, guys, as always, if I don't see you back here every second and every minute and every hour, you're spending with me is every second and every minute and every hour. I'm blessed and thankful for you guys. Have yourself a good rest of the day, night, evening. If I do see you back here, then this won't be the last time I will be seeing you tonight. Till then, I'll see you later tonight. If not, I will see you on Tuesday. Bye.